Hello everyone, I welcome you all for the today's problem solving session for the NPTEL course on architectural approaches to decarbonization of buildings, week 5. And I, Sudhir Kumar Gupta, will be taking your today's problem solving session. And in this problem solving session, like previous weeks, today we will be solving some sample problem questions based on the week 5 lecture contents, and then we will be moving towards the previous year assignment questions. Those are also very important from the exam point of view, and then we will be ending this session within 2 hours of time frame that was given. So with this, let's start the today's problem solving session. And as I can see today, till now 4 people have joined. Let me share my screen. Yeah, let me begin the today's session with this. Here is the first question for all of you. So whoever knows the answer, they can answer, give their answers in the chat box. So yeah, which is asking about which building element receives the highest intensity of solar radiation in hot climates like Gandhinagar. So based on your understanding from the lecture 1 of week 5, in which the discussion about the orientation, different types of orientation and different climate condition was discussed. You can now answer to this question, question number 1. Yeah, I think we have received answers from the audience, and then for this particular question, 1D has been marked by most of the students, as I can see. So 1D is the correct answer for this question, question number 1. That is horizontal roof surfaces. They are generally preferred for getting the or the highest intensity of solar radiation in in hot climate conditions like Gandhinagar. The horizontal roof will be directly exposed to the sun and throughout the day, and which will be receiving the maximum radiations, and roof must be protected from using shading or cool roof techniques that was also discussed in order to reduce the solar radiation inside the room. So such some techniques such as shadings or cool roofs can be employed. So whoever have marked option D, they are correct. With this, let's move to the second question. Question number 2. Here is the second question. Which building facade receives maximum solar radiation in winter but less in summer, making it favorable in design? Whether this east, west, north, or south, which will be receiving maximum solar radiation in the winter but less in the summer. Try to answer to this question also. Which side of the building facade will be having such kind of behavior? Let's see. How many of you can answer it for this second question? Yeah, as I can see, most of you have marked D as the answer for this question number two. So let me discuss it. Whoever have marked D, they are absolutely correct because when we are talking in context of India or in the northern hemisphere, the south-facing facade is beneficial as it gets maximum sunlight in the winter when the sun is low in the sky during the winters, but it will be getting comparatively less in the summer, adding the passive heating feature in winter. So whoever is trying to get maximum solar radiation in the winter, which is desirable also in climate condition like India, and less in summer, so they will be have to make the building facade in the south facing direction. Okay, so is it clear to everyone? Can we move to the next question? Okay, let's move. Here is the third question in front of you all then. Which facade receives the least solar radiation in most seasons? So if you are talking about all the seasons, so which side of the building facade will be receiving the least amount of solar radiation? As you all know that solar rises in the east and then sunsets happen in the west. So it is talking about a whole year for all the seasons. Which facade will be receiving the least amount of solar radiation? Try to give answer to this question. Question number three. I hope based on the discussion that we had in the previous question, all of you will be able to answer to this correctly. Yeah, as I can see, all of you have gone through the lecture's content very well, uh, very clear with your understanding about the building orientation. And whoever have marked option A for this question number three, they are absolutely correct. And the north facing facade receives minimal direct solar radiation except in early mornings and evenings of the summer. So making them ideal for openings or any kind of views creations. So whoever is thinking A is the right answer for this question, they are absolutely correct. So can we move to the next question with this? Okay. So then here is the fourth question for you all. What design strategy is recommended for east and west facade to reduce heat gain? Out of the four options, which design strategy you will be opting for your east-west facade? Whether maximizing the fenestration or to use transparent glass or to provide vegetation, jalis or non-habitat spaces you will be providing. So these all the things were discussed in the week 5 lecture 1 where the important strategies for reducing the heat gain by the building facade was discussed in the east and west directions. So you can recall that and based on that you can answer to this question, question number 4. I hope you have got the question clearly and you will be able to answer it as well. Yeah, as I can see, 4C have been marked by four of you. Okay, so let me discuss it then. 4C is the correct answer for this question. And in the lecture also it was well discussed like east and west facade with buffers like vegetation or jalis or creating a non-habitable spaces like toilets, staircase or storerooms. It will be helping us to minimize the direct solar heat inside the room. So that will be the better strategy that will be recommended for east and west facades to reduce heat gain. So option C is the correct answer for this question. Then let's move to the next question. Question number 5. Here is question number 5. Which design aspect must be decided together early in the design process? So this kind of question is also been asked in your assignment questions. So if you are able to answer it here and being a part of the discussion, then you will be able to know and you can answer the assignment question correctly as well. So two design aspects were discussed which move in tandem or in parallel with each other, whether it is insulation and orientation, or it is orientation and HVAC, or orientation and massing, or orientation and glazing. So from the four options, you can see orientation is must. So with orientation, what should be the most appropriate thing that should go in tandem, and that is very key design aspect during the early phase of building design process. So I hope you got the question and try to give answer to this question. Question number 5C. Yeah, so as I can see for this question number 5, Celine is saying 5A and Ram is saying 5C. So I'm getting different answers from the audience for this particular question, question number 5. But there is only one option which is the correct one. So let me discuss with you all then for better clarification. So the correct answer for this question number 5 is option C. Whoever have marked and they can also take the help from this your week 5 assignment where also the question has been asked, similar question in different pattern has been asked, where it has been told that orientation and meshing they are the two strategies that are very important in the early design process, and they two go hand in hand. Optimizing one strategy without the other is ineffective because both affect solar exposure, shading, and ventilation. So option C, orientation and meshing. These are important as we are discussing about the early design phase. The option that has been marked by Shivlin, I guess, option A is orientation and insulation. Orientation is early phase design process, but insulation is not the early phase design process. That's why HVAC, glazing, all these get discarded, and only option C has been considered to be the most correct answer for this question number 5. So let's move to the question number 6 then. Here is question number 6. In H-type building plan, how is the solar heat gain reduced? Yeah, so in the lecture 1 of week 5, different building plan types, L type, courtyard type, edge type, different types of building plan was discussed where the solar heat gain capacity or the intensity of each building plan type was discussed in detail. So based on your understanding about that, we try to answer how it is helping in reducing the solar heat gain. Whether you will be orienting it in east-west direction or through mutual shading of the wings or by eliminating all windows or by increasing surface to volume ratio. What should be the most correct answer? So let me admit someone. Sarita is there. So with this, today we are having, I think, four participants till now. So let's move to the question again and discuss it among all of you. So this is the sixth question, and for this sixth question, I want all of you who have understood the lecture one of week 5 very well. So you can choose the most correct answer in the chat box for this question number 6. Let's see how many of you can answer this one. So as I can see, I have received several answers for this question number 6 particularly, and all of them are saying it is 6B. So let me move to the question. Yeah. So from the let me project the pointer as well for better understanding. So as it was well discussed, whenever you will be having H type of building plan, then these longer wings, as you can see, these longer wings will be creating the mutual shading effect to the middle portion of the building plan. So that's why whenever or wherever you will be placing it, if it is north, let's say north, west, south, east, and that time, as you know, the west part of the or the western direction, if it is orienting in such a direction, then the western side will be having more prone to the solar radiation, and that time you will be requiring to reduce the intensity of solar radiation passing through it. So with the help of this H type of building plan, you can reduce the mutual through the mutual shading of the wings, you can reduce the solar heat gain. I hope this is clear now. So let's move to the next question, question number 7. Here is the question number 7 for you then. According to the BEE guidelines, which was well discussed, Bureau of Energy Efficiency guidelines, what is the recommended SAPE ratio for multi-storage residential buildings? So what is the recommended SAPE ratio? We try to answer to this question. The SAPE ratio is based on the elongated form along the east-west axis. For this question number 7, try to give your answers. It was well discussed and try to recall. Yeah, as I can see, three answers have been marked and all of them are correct. It is the ratio of 1 is to 3. Option C is the correct answer. The Bureau of Energy Efficiency recommends 1 is to 3 elongated form along the east-west axis to minimize the solar heat gain and optimize daylight at the same time. Both are important. So optimize the daylight to reduce the glare. These things also need to be covered. So based on that, 1 is to 3 ratio have been recommended by BEE guideline. That's fine. So let's move to the eighth question then. Okay. So with this, the week 5 lecture 1 sample problem questions comes to an end. Now we will be discussing some of the questions that can be formed based on the lecture 2 of the week 5. So here is the first question from lecture 2 of week 5. You try to give your answers for this question number 1 like you have given for the previous questions. So whoever knows the answer, they try to give your answers in the chat box. Which type of build form is most appropriate for hot and dry climate? So this subject and this content or the sample problem questions that you are studying, that will be helping you to build energy efficient houses and recommend to your neighbors as well. So overall, these are very crucial for in our day-to-day life also. So in which climate conditions you are staying, whether it is hot and dry, or cold, or humid, or composite. So based on that, you can choose the most appropriate orientation for your building and other facades arrangements. So try to understand and relate it with the real life problems. So for this, first of all, try to answer to this question. Out of the four options, choose the most appropriate and the correct answer in the chat box. So let's see how many of you have answered it and how many of you have answered it correctly. Okay, so as I can see, B have been marked to be the correct option by most of the audience, and option B is the correct answer for this question. So as you all know, when you will be studying about hot and dry climate conditions, so it means it is already hot or warm. So you will be trying to get or trying to reduce the solar radiation inside the building. So if you will be trying to reduce the solar radiation inside your building, so you will be opting for the compact buildings or the compact building form, you can say, because the compact building form will be reducing the overall surface area of your building. So it will be allowing the less heat, the warmer heat that is outside, to enter inside your buildings. So that is preferred in hot and dry climate conditions, that we will be having the compact building form. So it will be allowing the lesser heat transfer between the outdoor and the indoor, and overall it will be reducing the solar exposure also. And buildings should be inward facing in narrow streets, which will be enabling mutual shading and minimizing the openings to the east and west, which will be having the higher direct solar radiation intensity. So I hope this is clear to all of you. Okay, so then let's move to the next question. Then question number two. Here is question number two for you all. What is the main benefit of grouping buildings close together in hot and dry climates? Yeah, it is based on the previous question that we have discussed. You can easily answer to this question. Question number two. When you will be grouping the buildings very close in hot and dry climate condition, what benefit you will be getting? This one we have already discussed in our previous question. So based on that, you can answer to this question. Question number second. How many of you were able to understand? As I can see, Ram and Sedlin, they are able to understand the beauty of the concept that I just discussed in the previous question, and now they have answered it correctly. That whenever you will be doing the grouping of buildings close together in hot and dry climates, then it will be benefiting you or it will be helping you in mutual shading and minimizing the direct exposure to the sunlight. Correct. So let's move to the third question then. Here is the third question in front of you all. Which additional design feature improves lighting and ventilation in hot and dry houses without excessive heat gain? So try to give answer to this question as well. Which additional design feature improves lighting and ventilation? So you want both lighting and ventilation without excessive heat gain. So what you will be preferring? Let's see how many of you can answer it correctly. This is very good question. That is testing your concept. I have received multiple answers also for this question number three. Okay, 3B have been marked by many of you, and B is the correct answer for this question number three. As you all know that whenever you will be having, let me move to the high pen. Yeah. So whenever you will be having one building facade where you will be having this courtyard type of buildings, so from there you can see this courtyard type of building design will be allowing the solar radiation to come inside the vacant spaces between, between or in the middle of the building form, and from there the diffused light will be passing through all sides of the building, which will be helping you to provide proper lighting inside the building, as well as, since it is not the direct solar radiation, it is the diffused solar radiation, so it will be also helping you to reduce the excessive heat gain inside the building, and with this it will be also helping you in proper ventilation of air due to the opening. So option B, whoever have marked, they have marked it correctly, and B is the correct answer for this question number 3. These small enclosed country yards allow daylight and ventilation while protecting interiors from the hot and dusty winds. So with this, I hope this is clear to all of you. So let's move to the next question then. Question number 4. In question number 4, it is asked, in warm and humid climates, what is the best orientation for minimizing exposure on vertical surfaces? So you try to give answer to this question also. This is based on the lecture 2 of week 5 for this question number 4. As I can see, 4B have been marked to be the correct answer by many of you, and whoever have marked 4B, they are absolutely correct. It means that long facades facing north and south. So if you are having draw here north, here south, and this is east, this is west. So when your building form long facades will be having north and south facing, and is difficult in warm and humid regions. Means since you know shading east-west facade is difficult in warm and humid regions, so orienting the longer side in north-south reduces the heat gain, while overhanging roofs can be employed to protect them more effectively. So whoever have marked option B, they have understood the concept very well. So let's move to the question number 5 then. So different case studies were discussed in the lecture where Silent Valley Resort was also discussed, the key important features of Silent Valley Resort. So you have seen the pictures also of this which was presented. So which building form was used at Silent Valley Resort to achieve energy efficiency in warm humid climate? Try to recall the type of building form and see all the options. Option A, rectangular elongated blocks. Option B, circular form with low surface to volume ratio. Option C, courtyard compact forms. And option D, high rise tower blocks. So you try to recall and give the correct answer for this question number 5. Let's see how many of you have understood and given the answers. So 5B. 5B is the correct answer, which is marked by many of you, which is saying circular form with low surface to volume ratio. Okay, so whoever have marked option B, they are absolutely correct. And this Silent Valley Resort adopted a circular form, reducing the surface to volume ratio, which is the correct answer. And this is because it helps us to minimize the conduction and solar gains while enhancing the cross ventilation. Overall, it will be making the building to be more energy efficient. That's why this kind of building form and surface to volume ratio have been given more preferences in such buildings. So is it clear to all of you? Okay, so many of you are okay. So let's move to the next question then. Question number 6. Here is question number 6 for you all. Which orientation is considered most effective in composite climates like Gurgaon? So, which building orientation, or whenever you will be building your houses, so which building orientation you will be preferring in composite climate conditions like Gurgaon? So one building example was given to you where the building was shown and its orientation was discussed. So whether the longer axis will be facing east-west, or the longer axis will be facing north-south, or the longer axis will be facing southwest, east-west, or circular form with random orientation. So try to give answer to this question number 6, all of you. Let's see, many of you have understood it clearly. Yeah, as I can see, most of you have answered 6B, and 6B is the correct answer for this question number 6. So long axis will be facing north-south direction is what is the most effective way in composite climate conditions like Gurgaon. Facing it in the east-west direction of the building mass ensured maximum north-south facade exposure, beneficial for both winter heating and summer shading. So whoever have marked option B, they are correct. So let's move to the next question then, question number 7. Here is question number 7 for you all. In cold climates, why should buildings be slightly oriented east of south? So you try to answer to this question as well, like we have given the answers to the previous questions correctly. So now it is talking about the cold climate conditions. Previously we have discussed about the composite climate conditions. Now it is talking about the cold climate conditions. So you might have observed that in cold climate conditions, the buildings are slightly oriented east of south. So let me draw for better understanding of you all. So such kind of building orientation east of south is preferred generally in cold climate conditions. Why? Whether to maximize east and west sunlight, or to capture morning and afternoon sun, or to avoid southern sun completely, or to block prevailing winter winds. What is the most appropriate answer for this question number 7? Try to give your answers for this question number 7. Let's see how many of you can answer it correctly for this question number 7. So let me see. Abdullah has left. Okay, so as I can see, 7B have been marked first by the Celine, then by the followed by the Ram. So 7th B. So they think that capture morning and afternoon sun is the right answer for this question, and they are absolutely correct. Both of them have understood the concept very well. It's good to see that most of the answers have been marked correctly by all of you. So whenever you will be slightly east of south orientation differing, then it will be ensuring building captures morning and afternoon sunlight, and that will be helping you to maximize the solar heat gain during the winter conditions while reducing depth related lightning problems at the same time. That's why this slightly east of south orientation is preferred in cold climate conditions. So I think it is well clear to all of you, and if it is clear, then we can move to the next question. Okay, so I've got my response. So here is the eighth question then. Try to give answer to the eighth question as well. Which case study demonstrates orientation strategies in extremely cold climates like Ladakh? Yeah, so one case study was discussed which was based on the cold climate conditions like Ladakh. So out of the four case study like Terry, okay, it is mentioned also Terry, Gurgaon. So from the options itself, you can discard that Gurgaon is not the cold climate conditions. Silent Valley Resort, Kalasa. Yeah, so it's easy to mark the correct answer from these questions. Let me see whether now also you are able to answer it and recall it or not. Yeah, as I can see, option C have been opted by most of you, and option C from the given options you can discard the other options where the location has itself been given. So only option C, that is Drunk White Lotus School, Ladakh. It is the case study that demonstrates the orientation strategies in cold climate conditions like Ladakh. Correct. So let's move to the ninth question then. Here is the ninth question for you all. What is the primary comfort strategy in warm and humid climates? So whether it is mutual shading or compact meshing or cross ventilation and breeze movement or thick massive walls. Out of the four options, which is the most appropriate and the correct answer for this question number 9? Let's see how many of you can answer it correctly. Any one of you knows the answer? They can mark their answers in the chat box. Okay, Sam and Celine both are very active and they are able to answer to it and they have marked option C. So they have understood the concept very well and the content of the week 5 lecture 2, that is cross ventilation and breeze movement. This becomes very important if you are residing in a warm and humid climate conditions. So closed buildings, whenever you will be having closed buildings, so due to the high humidity, all will be getting entrapped inside the buildings. So in that you must have seen also people's put their coolers outside the room in humid climate condition regions, because this warm and humid, then it will be, if you will be keeping it inside, then it will be start increasing the humidity level very high. So you must have observed this in your neighbors. So they try to keep the coolers outside so that the humidity that have been created due to the operation of the cooler, that should not increase the overall humidity inside the room, because it's already warm and humid climatic condition inside in that climatic zone. We will not further increase the humidity levels, so we will try to increase the flow of air, and that can only be done with the help of cross ventilation and breeze movement that have been shown in option C, because humidity also is an important parameter for deciding the comfort level of the human beings. That's why cross ventilation becomes an important strategy for comfort in warm and humid climate conditions. So I hope this is clear to all of you. Is it clear? Okay. So I hope this problem solving session is helping you all to recall the concepts and revise the things that you are getting and studying in this particular course. So whether you are able to relate it and finding this problem solving sessions to be an important session for you all or not. Okay, so then let's move to the next questions and discuss it with you all and revise the things. What dual strategy was applied in the drunk White Lotus School Ladakh that we recently discussed? So you have to now recall what strategy was applied in that particular school that was situated in the cold climate condition of Ladakh. So try to give your answers for this question number 10. And this is very important question and we have discussed it also that the based on the discussion all of you can easily answer to this question. 10th B, as I can see the you have understood the discussion that we have did for this particular orientation of the building. So classrooms they are east of south was discussed that 30 degree is mentioned for option 2 and residences are kept facing the direct south. So these two strategies are opted in order to capture the morning sun. That people who are residing there, they go to the classrooms in the morning. So morning sun becomes important, and capturing that will be helping you to comfort during the teaching hours. And when residing residences that store the direct solar heat for the night comfort when people will be after the classes going to the residence. So these two strategies combinedly helps or they combinedly optimize the Ladakh's high altitude solar potential. So you have understood and marked it correctly. So with this, let's move to the week 5, lecture 3 content and let's try to solve and figure out some of the simple problem questions from that lecture. Here is the first one then. What is the primary aim of bioclimatic architecture in passive design? I hope all of you got the question correctly and all of you can answer it. Bioclimatic architecture, from the name itself, it suggests many things. Let's see how far you have understood it. So one B has been marked by Celine and one C has been marked by Ram. So let me correct. Any one of you are correct. So let me tell you who is correct for this question, who is marked the correct answer. So option B is the correct answer for this question number 1. That is bioclimatic strategies aligns with the passive design by using the natural factors such as neighboring structures, biodiversity, climate, etc. to regulate the temperature and reduce the reliance on the artificial climate control. That's why this bioclimatic suggests these natural conditions that has been utilized for regulating the building temperatures. That's why option B is the correct answer for this question. So now I hope it is well clear to all of you. Can we move to the next question? Okay. So let's move to the next question then because we have to finish many questions today. Here is the second question for you all. Try to give answer to the second question. Which of the following is a fundamental principle of passive design? Yeah. Relying on the mechanical cooling systems? No, because passive systems don't rely on the mechanical cooling system, option A gets eliminated. Selecting openings to allow sunlight in colder months and ventilation in warmer months. So option B can be the correct answer, but let's see to the other options as well. Avoiding natural lighting, this is absolutely incorrect. So designing sealed envelopes without openings, so it's very dangerous to design such kind of envelopes. So I hope with the four options, after reading it in detail, all of you will be able to answer it correctly, which is the correct answer for this question number 2. So all of you are answering question number 2 is correct answer is B. So B is the correct answer. You are absolutely correct that selecting the openings to allow the sunlight in colder months and ventilation in the warmer months. These fundamental principles are followed in passive design, and these openings must be planned according to the seasonal requirement and sunlight for heating in winter or ventilation in summer while minimizing the unwanted heat gain at the same time. So you have understood, and from the options also you can discard many of the options and then you can select the correct answer. So with this, let's go to the third question then. Here is the third question in front of you all. How can orienting building at an angle to the wind direction improves ventilation? Yeah, this is very good question. So try to give your answers. So two types of building orientation we have discussed, which is in parallel with the wind direction, and another one which is at some angle, as it is saying, which is at some angle to the wind direction. Let's see, building form is also changed. Okay, so let me discard this one. So it is coming at some angle and yes parallel, this kind of. And what is the benefited advantage or disadvantage of these two types of building form design? So your building A, this is your building B, and it is having some angle. So let's see how many of you can answer to this question, question number 3, how it will be helping you. So from this also you can see it will directly go and pass, but these kind of buildings it will be creating some sort of you can say some sort of wind patterns here and there whenever it will be passing. Yeah, from this I hope now it is clear from the figure you are able to imagine, and now you will be able to answer it correctly, which is the correct answer for this question number 3. So let me see how many of you have answered it correctly. Yeah, as I can see, B option have been opted by many of you, and B is the correct answer for this question. By creating homogeneous wind patterns around the buildings, it will be whenever you will be orienting building at an angle to the wind direction, it will be improving the ventilation. Angled placement relative to the wind ensures smoother airflow around and within the site, preventing large dead zones and improving the cross ventilation. Fine. So let's move to the second question. Here is the second question for you all then. In hot and dry climates, what or how should fenestration be designed? What will should be your choice or recommendation for a house fenestration in hot and dry climate conditions? Whether it will be large unshaded windows, So unshaded one will be creating the solar heat gain that we don't want in hot and dry climate conditions. So option A gets discarded, and fully sealed walls with no windows. So this is also not at all a good option. Option C, because it will be having very or no ventilation. So out of the four options, two have been discarded. So out of the two, B and D, you try to figure it out and answer in the chat box which is the correct answer. So let me see how many of you have answered it. B. Out of the two options that was left, you are opting for B, and B is the correct answer. Well, um, small and well shaded openings with high level ventilators. These are the preferable passive strategies or fenestration should be designed because the hot and dry climates require small windows to reduce the solar heat gain, and with overhangs for shading as well. So high level vents will be also helping you to hot air to escape, while cool air remains at the occupant level. So these are the fenestration design which was mentioned in option B is the correct answer, and it will be all the things will be helping you to provide comfort to the occupants. So with this, let's move to the fifth question then. Here is the fifth question for all of you. What is the best strategy for wind design in composite climates? Window design, sorry. So, best strategy for window design, how you will be designing your windows in composite climate conditions, whether you will be uniformly large throughout, you will be placing it, or permanent heavy shading devices you will be putting, or no windows on the east and west direction you will be opting, or the last shaded window that blocks summer sunlight but permits winter sunlight. Okay, I hope question is very clear to all of you. All of you will be able to answer to this question number 5. Yeah, I can see many answers I have received. So it's D. D has been marked by many of you. Option D. So option D says shaded window that blocks summer sun. Yeah, because in composite climate conditions, the days will be hotter. So you have to block the summer sun, and at the same time in the winter it will be colder also. So you have to permit or you have to enhance the winter heat gain. That's why Windows design will be such a way that it will be having more heat gain during the summer and sorry, less heat gain during the summer and less more heat gain during the winters. So option D is the correct answer for the question number 5. That and for such kind of composite climate conditions, the controllable shading devices becomes very essential so that we can adjust them as per the seasons and adapt to the seasonal variations. So adjustable shading devices are preferable in such climate conditions. Okay, so I think it is clear to all of you. Is it clear? Or do you have any questions? Okay, so it is clear. So let's move to the sixth question then. Here is the sixth question in front of you all. What should windows be? Why the windows should be staggered? So it was well discussed with you all in the lecture slides that whether the windows to be placed one opposite to each other or the windows to be placed in staggered position like this. and what are the advantages and disadvantages of each kind of window design pattern. So it was concluded that Windows staggered position is better. That's why it is preferable than other aligned strategy. But what is the key advantage of such kind of arrangement, that I want to know? And who knows the answer, they can give their answers in the chat box. So let's see how many of you knows the answer. 6C have been marked first. Ram is the one to mark the answer, then followed by Celine. So 6C says this kind of staggered behavior or staggered arrangement will be helping you for better cross ventilation. So as you can see, whenever the wind will be coming, then it will be going and you will be getting more proper cross ventilation, and it will be avoiding the dead zones, like in this when the air will be coming, then it will be passing, then this will be the dead zones. Dead zones, such kind of things will be less observed in this kind of arrangement. I hope you have got the answer for this question. So with this, let's move to the next question then. If you have got the answer, please let me. Yeah, sure. So here is the seventh question then for you. What role does vegetation play in passive ventilation strategies? Yeah. So this thing was also discussed. Role of vegetation. What role does vegetation play in passive ventilation strategies? Whether it diverts and channels wind into the buildings, or blocks all the airflow, or provides only aesthetic value. So it is talking only aesthetic value. So only aesthetic value is not the reason for vegetation around the buildings. There are some more reasons. That's why option C is not the correct one. And increases turbulence and hot spots. So out of the four options, which option you think to be the most correct option for this question number 7? Mark your answers in the chat box and let me see how many of you can answer it correctly. Try to recall, and based on your understanding, try to give your answers. So it's good to see that most of the answers that you have marked today, they you have marked correctly, and option A is the correct answer for this question number 7. If it is asked in your exams, then you can answer it correctly. Like these vegetations can redirect the prevailing winds into indoor spaces, that will be improving the natural ventilation, and this principle is sometimes also used in wind catchers as well. So I hope this is clear to all of you. This concept you are able to appreciate. If it is there, then let me know. Yes. So then let's move to the next question then. Question number 8. Here is question number 8 for all of you who have completed question number 7. What is the principle behind a wind catcher system? What is the principle behind a wind catcher system? So that wind catcher system principle that we have discussed in the previous question also. And based on your understanding, also you try to give the correct answer for this question number 8. Then if you are going in a wrong direction, then we'll be discussing it in detail with all of you. So let me recall, several peoples have seen that small wind catchers are employed in the buildings. So what is the principle behind the working of such systems? Whether capture rainwater or cooling, creating turbulence in the courtyard, completely sealing the buildings from external winds, or creating turbulence in courtyard using roof inlet to draw the fresh air and expel hot air through outlets. So from the figure that have been drawn in front of you, through this also you can answer and understand the beauty of the concept very well. This wind catcher, and this is the window. This is airflow. This is your building. I hope all of you have understood it well now, and all of you can answer it correctly. Yeah, so all of you have got the diagram and understood the concept also. So with this you will be able to recall from the next time that it is helping us to create turbulence in the courtyard, or okay. So this is written two times. This is incorrect. So let me. I think there is some typo mistake with this. So let me discard it. It has been written by mistake. So this is the same option as option B. So this is not the thing. This is the option D is starting from here. I know that you have understood it, and you have marked. That's why you have marked the answers correctly. So let me remove it so that it won't be having any doubt when I will be uploading it with you all in the problem solving session Google Drive. Yeah, so this is the option, and option D is the correct answer that we have already marked. So is it clear now, everybody? Can we move to the next question then, if you are okay? Yes. So thank you for your response. Let's move to the next question then and discuss with you all. Here is the next question. Question number 9. What happens if the inlet and outlet windows are placed exactly opposite to each other? Yeah, this thing I have discussed in one of the sample problem question discussion. When the two windows were placed just in front of your opposite of each other, then what was happening? Out of the four options, you read each options carefully, and I want all of you to answer to this question in the chat box and answer it correctly. Ventilation becomes uniform. There is no dead zones remain unventilated despite airflow. Bridges circulate the human body effectively, or the airflow increases velocity evenly. So for those who have were not, this is our building, let's say, and this is our human being, let's say. So if you are placing the two windows opposite to each other, so from these, what can you understand? Whether the ventilation air circulation will be coming to this here, or it will be having the dead zones. So which will be the correct answer? Try to answer it correctly. I know from the figure itself you will be able to understand. That's why I have drawn it for your reference. And yeah, 9B have been marked by most of you, and it's the correct answer. You can easily see that these dead zones are created and remain unventilated despite the airflow. So if it will be the window might have been placed instead of the here, it can be placed here. So the instead of the opposite direction, if it would have been staggered position, then there must be some airflow from inlet to the outlet, and in this way the dead zones or the proper air circulations can be achieved effectively. So with this, let's move to the 10th question. Then here's the 10th question for you all. What is a basic design rule for enhancing cross ventilation indoors? Out of the four options, try to choose the correct answers. All of you. Question number 10. Yeah. So let me admit. Okay. So let me admit Supriya. So her video is on and is on recording. Okay. So now we are having the 10th question for you all, and try to give answers to the question number 10 like you have given for the previous sample problem questions correctly in the chat box. Out of the four options, which basic design rule you will be opting for enhancing the cross ventilation indoors? So let me see. Here is the 10th question then. How many of you can answer it correctly in the chat box for this question number 10? Let's see. So 10D has been marked by Ram Shillin. Okay, so most of you are marking 10D. So let me discuss with you all for this particular question number 10. D is the correct answer. That is, it is talking about the cross ventilation indoors. So this cross ventilation is more effective when the outlets are larger than inlets, as it was discussed, which will be increasing the indoor air velocity and circulation, which was mentioned in option D. That's why option D is the correct answer for this question number 10. So with this, let's move to the some of the simpler problem questions from the week 5 lecture 4 series. And here is the first question from that. Try to give answer to this question. What is considered the ideal fenestration configuration for effective ventilation in a room? Whether windows only on one external wall or windows on two external walls with door on one internal wall, and one large central skylight, or the D option D, windows aligned directly opposite to each other. So we have already discussed several strategies when the windows will be directly opposite to each other, or it will be in the staggered position. What will be the effect of that? I hope all of you have understood the previous explanations clearly, and you will be able to answer to this question number first. So all of you give your answers in the chat box. So as I can see now, I have got several answers. Option B, Ram was the first to mark, and others also. All of you are opting for option B. So option B is the correct answer. All of you are absolutely correct. That is windows on two external walls with a door on one internal wall. This kind of arrangement will be helping for proper cross ventilation, and the door can act as an inlet if the wind is incident on the other wall, and while the outlet remains larger than the inlet, enhancing the overall airflow of the system. So all of you are correct. Let's move to the second question then. Let's see how many of you can answer it correctly. This is the second question in front of you all. Why is the relative position of the inlet and outlet windows important in passive design? So as I have discussed, the relative position is very important, whether you are keeping your windows, whether the inlet or the outlet windows, how it is contributing to the passive design. Try to give answer to this question, question number 2. With the help of the proper positioning of the window, what help you can achieve? So as I can see, several people have given the answers. So 2D have been marked by Celine is the first to answer, then Ram. Supriya has given the answer, but for which question she has given? So I request all of you to mark your answer after first mention the question number, then mark the option so that it will be clear to all the audience that you are going for which question. So for this it is 2D as it has been marked by most of you, so I can understand. Try to answer in such a pattern. So 2D have been marked by most of you. So here let's move to the next question then, because 2D is the correct answer, or it is very clear from the our previous explanations also, like it controls air movement and distribution indoors. That's why inlet and outlet window positions becomes very important in passive design, and the airflow pattern depend on the inlet and outlet placement only. Poor placement may cause stagnation, or the unventilated zones can be created, or the dead zones can be created, while good positioning ensures effective breeze distributions. That's why option D is the correct answer for this particular question number 2. Let's move to the third question then. Here is the third question. Which form characteristics is ideal for extreme climates to improve energy efficiency? So buildings or the location which is having the extreme climate conditions like extreme cold or extreme winter conditions are there. So in that kind of climatic conditions, which kind of building form you will be preferring out of the four option? Try to give the correct answer for the question number 3. So let's see how many of you have understood the concept and how many of you are able to answer it correctly. So as I can see, I have received multiple answers for this question number 3. Some are saying A, some are saying C. So let me discuss it with all of you. So Ram is correct. Option C is the correct answer for this question. So when you are residing in an extreme climate condition, like when you are whether you are staying in a very hot climatic condition, so you will be preferring compact houses, small houses, because small houses will be with smaller surface to volume ratio or perimeter to area ratio. This will be helping the lower heat transfer. This compact houses will be allowing lower heat transfer between the outdoor and the indoor. This compact forms gain less heat in a day and loses less at the same time at the night. So it will be maximizing mutual shading. That's why option C, which was marked by Ram, is the correct answer, and other options, these are not the correct answers. I hope this is clear to all of you now. Can we move to the next question? Okay, so as I can see, to move to the next question, here's the next question, then question number 4 in front of you all. Why are the services or service areas like staircase, kitchen, lobbies are placed in east and west facades in tropical climate conditions? How it will be helping you all? So I can see this time I have received answers for this question number 4. Then I will be discussing it. 4B have been marked by most of you. Okay. So B option says that creating such service areas in east and west facade in tropical climate will be acting as a buffer zone against harsh sun and heat gain. This was opted by all of you, and all of you are absolutely correct. These service areas will insulate the habitable spaces from the intense eastern or western suns. So they also benefit from natural daylight, reducing the artificial lighting needs. So all of you are absolutely correct. Option B is the correct answer for this question number 4. So with this, let's move to the next question. Then question number 5. Let's see how many of you can answer it correctly. To the question number 5. Which facade should have the least window openings in tropical climates? Yeah. So if someone is residing in a tropical climate, so which side, this kind of question has also been asked in the assignment question of this week, where you have seen it was asked which side is getting the most sunlight. So you can relate it with the assignment question if you are able to answer to it here. It has asked where you will keep the least windows. I hope you are able to understand what I am explaining to you all. If you have worked upon the assignment of week 5, you can easily relate it. So with that, let's see how many of you can answer it correctly and understand. 5D, as I can see, has been marked by most of you. So west is the correct answer for this question number 5. West facing walls receive the hardest or the harshest, you can say, harshest solar radiation, direct solar radiation in tropics. That so whenever you will be minimizing the windows here, it will be reducing the unwanted heat gain and glare. That's why least windows are preferred in the west directions in tropical climates. Is it clear to all of you? Can we move to the next question then? Okay. So here is the next question in front of you all. Question number 6. Which type of urban planning is recommended in hot and dry climate to improve passive performances? So when you will be doing the urban planning in hot and dry climate, which type of planning you will be recommending? So this is very straightforward question from the four options you can see, and it is talking about the hot and dry climate. So I have already discussed in hot and dry climate which building form or urban planning is preferred. It was also discussed in the lectures. So you can easily answer to this question number 6. Can I see how many of you have answered it? Yeah, as I can see, 6B have been answered by most of you. Let me go to the question again. Yeah, 6B is the correct answer for this question. Compact and mixed use development. Urban planning is recommended in hot and dry climate to improve the passive performance because compact, dense, or mixed use layouts maximizes the mutual shading and reduces the transport needs and improves the walkability as well. So it is ideal for the hot and dry climate conditions area. So all of you are correct. It's good to see that today most of you are participating in this problem solving session actively, and they are able to understand the concept that have been discussed in this particular week, and they are able to answer the most of the questions correctly. So with this, let's move to the seventh question then, to the rapid fire questions round, and let's see how many of you can answer it correctly. Question number 7: in which climate should compact development not be encouraged? Yeah. So whenever it will be extreme cold or extreme hot, their compact development is encouraged, that we have already discussed. So here only two options are left, option B and option C. Let's see how many of you can now mark it correctly. So this kind of questions have also been asked in your assignment, last question of your assignment. So it will be helping you to mark there also. Let's see how many of you can answer which climate should not promote or encourage compact development. So as I can see, 7B has been marked by all of you, and B is the correct answer for your question number 7. So such kind of question is also asked in your assignment this year, so you can relate it there when you will be performing the assignment, that warm and humid climate requires openness for ventilation, as you all know. So compact layouts blocks the breezes and worsening the comfort in sticky and humid environment, which is not preferable. That's why compact development are not encouraged in the warm and humid climate conditions. I hope it is clear to all of you. If it is clear, then please let me know, then we can move to the next question. Then I have received some responses from the students. Yeah, so let's move to the next question then. Here's the next question, question number 8. What is the key zoning regulation strategy for promoting energy efficiency? Yeah, that's very good question. I want all of you to answer to this question, question number 8, and mark the correct answer for this particular question number 8. I can see many of you have already answered. Celine, Supriya, Abdullah is gone. One more guy was there. Five participants. So 8C have been marked. As I can see. Okay. So let me discuss it then. Let me discuss that 8C is the correct answer for this question. Encouraging the shading and wind controls in the layout. This is the zoning regulation strategy for promoting the energy efficiency is opted because the energy efficiency or energy efficient zoning involves regulation or regulating orientation, shading and building placement to optimize natural resources like sun and wind while reducing cooling loads at the same time. So for that kind of requirement, encouraging shading and wind controls becomes very important for key zoning regulation strategy. I hope it is clear to all of you. Can we move to the next question? Okay. So here's the next question in front of you all then. Question number 9. Which planning approach enhances sustainability beyond individuals building energy use? You try to give answer to this question. Question number 9. Yeah. So it is talking about beyond the individual building energy use, which approach will be enhancing the sustainability in other terms. Question number 9. It is very good question. So this is a very important question as well from the exam point of view. Whether increasing car-based transportation or designing isolated housing blocks or promoting walkability and green spaces in urban planning or avoiding zoning regulations, which you think to be the most appropriate answer for this particular question number 9. 9C, as I can see, 9C have been marked by most of you, and whoever have marked the option C, they are absolutely correct. So urban planning must integrate sustainability by reducing transport needs and conserving green spaces and designing walkable and compact mixed use neighborhoods, which can be done by promoting walkability and green spaces in urban planning. So this is the correct answer and all of you have marked it correctly. So let's move to the next question then. Question number 10. Here is question number 10 for all of you to answer. In passive planning, why should amenities be located within walkable distance? In passive planning, you try to give your answers. Why should amenities be located within the walkable distance? How it will be overall helping you for maintaining the sustainability of the ecosystem? Based on that, you can answer to this question. I hope you have got the questions and options clearly, and this can also be answered based on our previous question discussion. So many of you have already marked the question and understood it. So 10th B have been marked by most of you, and 10th B is the correct answer for this question. It's happy to see that most of you are able to answer all the questions correctly. Like whenever you will be passive planning you will be doing, then to minimize the need for transportation energy, you will be opting with the help of walkable distance, providing the amenities local or the within the walkable distance, you will be minimizing the transportation, energy or motorized transport, overall urban energy use and supporting to the sustainable settlements. So all of you are correct. With this, our problem solving sample problems comes to end. So let's try to solve some of the acronyms questions that can be formulated based on the week 5 lecture content. So here are some of the acronyms questions. If you know the acronyms of the various terminology that have been discussed and multiple times it has been utilized in this particular week lectures, you will be able to answer to this question also. So WWR, what does WWR stands for? Whether it is window to wall ratio or wall to window ratio or window to wall wind to wall ratio or window to width ratio. What do you think is the correct answer for this question number 1? All of you must be able to answer to this question. This is very basic question, and if you are working in a building area, QB. So as I can see, option have been opted by most of you, and B is the correct answer. WWR in building refers to the window to wall ratio. Okay, so let's move to the second question. So we have heard several times about the Terry in the Terry retreat, Gurgaon passive strategy when it was discussed. So what Terry stands for? How many of you know what Terry refers to? Let's see how many of you can answer it correctly. Whether it is Technical and Environment Research Institute or it is the Energy Resource Institute or Thermal Energy Research Institute or Tropical Environment and Research Initiative. What do you think to be the correct answer? How many of you know the correct answer? They can mark in the chat box. Anyone? Let's see how many of you have answered it. Okay, so as I can see, B option have been marked by many of you, and many of you are correct also. The Energy and Resource Institute. The TERI refers to the Energy and Resource Institute. Option B is the correct answer. And this is the kind of case study that was discussed under composite climate conditions of Gurgaon, designed with passive strategies with a north-south orientation. I hope you are able to recall. So who knows the full form? That's good. Who don't know, then they can recall it and they can revise it again from the discussion, and all the contents of this discussion will also be uploaded, all the sample problem questions with answers along with the recording of this particular session. You can access to that through the NPTEL portal of this particular course. So let's move to the third question then. Here's the third question for you all. Which acronym represents the building performance target where the annual energy consumption equals annual and renewable energy generation? Okay, so it is talking about if a building is having annual energy consumption equals to the annual energy generation that it is doing. So it will be coming under which building type? NZEB, NREC, ZEBR or EEB? So this is very straightforward question. It's just equal. Whatever you are using, that you are generating. I hope you have got it, and several many of you have already answered to it also. 3A, NZAB. So many of you know the full form of, and how, let's see how many of you know the full form of NZAB. Write the full form of NZAB in the chat box. so that I can confirm that you have marked it correctly and you know it correctly. Anyone who knows the full form of NZAB? Okay, Celine has already typed it. As for her net zero energy building. Yeah, it's correct. So from the condition also you can see it is net zero. Neither it is creating more energy, neither it is consuming more energy. It is net zero coming, whatever it is generating, that much it is utilizing. So in option A, NZEB, net zero energy building is the correct option for this particular scenario. Question number 3, which has been asked. So let's move to the fourth question then. Here is the fourth question. Which of the following correctly expands RCC commonly used in the retrofitting strategies? So you have to, in this particular question, you have to tell us the full form of RCC. That is a type of cement, I can say, that is used in roofing strategies. So let's see how many of you know the full form of that. Anyone? Okay, so I think I have moved to the, yeah. Anyone who knows the answer? Fourth question. Question Fourth question, A option have been marked. Okay, what about others? Celine is also opting option A. Okay, so let me present it again. So it's a, all of you are saying it's a reinforced cement concrete, and you are correct. This RCC is a reinforced cement concrete and is a structural material that is used in roofing. However, in passive design, alternative like cool roofs are more effective than or more effective for heat protections. But this form, so full form you should know. With these, all the sample problem questions discussion we have already done, and now I would like to discuss the previous year assignment questions of this week 5, and let's see how many of you can answer correctly to the previous year assignment questions. So based on your understanding about the lecture series that you have seen this week and the sample problem questions that we have done, several similar questions that we have discussed also. So I want all of you to participate in the last 10 questions of the today's session and answer the previous year assignment questions which are very important correctly in chat box. Here is the first question for you all. One of the ways to protect roof from direct solar radiation is, yeah, so this kind of question they have explained very well in the lectures, and this they have asked in the previous year assignment, and in this year assignment also you will find the similar kind of question. It is asked changing some of the words, but if you know the concept then you will be able to answer the assignment questions correctly for this week also. So the assignment questions, whatever assignments are given to you each week, it is very important because 25% of those assignment marks will be counted in your overall assessment. So complete the assignments carefully and sincerely each week assignments, and try to answer to this question now. Question number 1. What should be the correct answer? Anyone who can answer? Let me see. 1B has been marked by Ram, but is not one. It's one fine, but two have been marked by Celine. So I think she is also saying for one only. Maybe she has mistyped. So B is the correct answer for this question number one. Cool roofs. The roof receives maximum solar radiation in tropical climate. So utilizing this cold roof strategy or through the reflective or heat resistant materials, you can reduce the heat gain and improve the indoor comfort. That's why cool roof is the correct answer for this question number one. Is it clear to all of you? For the question number one, cool roof is the correct answer. If it is clear, then mark yes in the chat box. Okay. So let's move to the second question then. Here's the second question for you all. Which of those is a good strategy to channelize the breeze inside a building? Yeah. So this was well explained in the lecture. I want all of you to answer this particular question correctly. So from the options also you can see orientation will be helping you for sure. Wind directions is also important and vegetation. Vegetation is also important. So as you can see, D has been marked by most of you, Celine, Ram and Supriya. Okay. So option D is the correct answer for this question number two. So all these strategies are important for channelizing the bridges. You know it requires proper orientation or aligning the wind, aligning with the wind direction and use of vegetation like trees and shrubs, which is marked by all the options. So that's why all the above option D is the correct answer for this question. Let's move to the third question then from the previous year assignment question. Here is the third question. In a tropical country like India, it is important to align the longer facade towards which direction? Yeah, so if you are an Indian and you should know that your building's longer side should be aligning in which direction. Let's see how many of you can answer it correctly. Because India is having this kind of climate condition that is important. You should be knowing. If you are knowing, then you will be able to answer to it correctly. Anyone? Okay, so 3A have been marked by most of you. So you all of you are correct. So aligning the facades north and south minimizes harsh east and west solar exposures and makes the shading easier. This is recommended in most tropical regions. Okay, so let's move to the fourth question then. Here is the fourth question for you all. Let's see how many of you can answer to the fourth question as well. In a warm and humid climate, most important passive strategy is, yeah. So I have already discussed and it was also discussed in the lecture. So warm and humid, that humidity content you have to reduce inside your building. So which strategy you will be opting for this question number four? I hope you all of you have got the answer, got the question and answered it also. 4C. As I can see, 4C have been marked by most of you, and this was directly asked in the previous year assignment question to the students. Like this year, there are several questions assignment given to you. So option C is the correct answer for this question. So comfort, whenever it will be required in the warm and humid climate conditions, it depends upon the air movement a lot across the body. So thus the orientation in the opening should maximize the cross ventilation. and encourage the breeze or air inside. So option C has the correct answer, and all of you have marked it correctly. It's good to see. So let's move to the question 5 then. Here is question 5 for you all. The Terry retreat at Gurgaon falls in which climate zone? Yeah, this was well discussed. This was well discussed. You simply have to answer Gurgaon falls under which climate zone. And this I have already discussed with you all. So I hope all of you will be able to answer it correctly. If this question would have been asked in your this year assignment or the final year exam, then all of you have marked it correctly. Yeah, 5D is the correct answer for this question. This Gurgaon falls under composite climate conditions. Correct. So let's move to the sixth question then. Here is the sixth question for you all. Which of these statement is not true about the strategies to reduce operational carbon? Out of the four options, try to opt the correct answer for this question number 6 and mark in the chat box whether it is option A or B. When you will be trying to reduce the operational carbon, let's see how many of you can answer it correctly. So 5D have been marked till yet. Question number 6. No one of you have marked it correctly. I want all of you to answer. Read the question carefully. Yeah, as I can see now, people have started answering option C for this question number 6. Let me see whether you are correct or no, not. So option C is the correct answer. Whoever have marked, it is talking about which of these is not true for reducing the operational carbon. So these passive strategies will be definitely reducing the operational carbon, and climate responsive will also, but embodied carbon it is talking about. So embodied carbon is completely different from operational carbon. So option C is the correct answer. All of you are correct. Let's move to the seventh question then. Compact build forms. What do you understand by that, or what are the key features of this compact build forms? Try to answer to this question whether compact build form gain less heat during the daytime and less heat at the night time. It will be losing the less heat during the night time, or both A and B, or neither A or B. What do you understand? I hope all of you have got the questions and answers also I have received from many of you. So many of you are saying it's 7C. Okay. So whoever have marked both A and B, they are absolutely correct, because this compact forms discussion I have already done several times, like low surface to volume ratio, that will be helping you to reduce the daytime heat gain, that is marked by option A, and nighttime heat losses can also be reduced, that is marked by option B. That's why overall it will be improving the energy efficiency of the building, and option C, which is saying both A and B, is the correct answer for this question number 7. So let's move to the question number 8 then. Here is question number 8 for all of you. Compact development promotes sustainability by. So when you will be doing the compact development, is talking about the development. So for sure, it will be improving the walkability, easy access for the people. Shading will be there. Less heat gain can also be there, and it will be reducing the need for the transportation. So what do you think will be the right answer for this question? Question number 8. So Celine is the first to answer. She is saying 8D. Yeah, D is the correct answer for this question. 8. Compact development will be reducing the travel energy, promotes the walkability, and ensures mutual shading to reduce the heat gains, which is explained by all the three options. That's why all of the above is the correct answer for this question number 8. So, is it clear to all of you till now? Can we move to the next question? Question number 8, if it is clear. Okay. So here is the ninth question then. Try to give answer to the ninth question as well. Zoning regulation that encourage energy efficient architecture in warm conditions include. Yeah, this is very good question which was asked in the previous year assignment questions. So what do you think? This zoning regulation encourages energy efficient architecture in warm conditions through either shading, through shading, or through wind exposure, or both A and B, or neither of A and B. Yeah, as I can see, these two Selenium RAM, they are very active. They are actively participating for the session, and they have marked option C for this particular question, question number 9, and they are absolutely correct. This energy efficient zoning must provide shading strategies and exposure to the beneficial winds for passive cooling in warm conditions. So both A and B becomes the correct answer for this question number 9. That's why option C was opted and they are absolutely correct. So with this, let's move to the last question of the today's problem solving session. And this is the last question of the previous year assignment questions also. So try to answer to this question as well. Then we will be ending our today's problem solving session. Mutual setting is ideal in where you will be preferring the mutual setting. Whether you will be preferring mutual setting in hot climate or the extreme climate, or neither A or B, or both A or B. I hope you have got the answer. Let me see how many of you have answered then. Yeah, so most of you have answered 10th D. That is both A and B. So mutual setting reduces heat gain in both hot and extreme climate, and that's why option D is the correct answer, where compact and closely spaced building sets each other. That's why it becomes important. So with this, we end to our today's problem solving sessions, and I thank you all for actively participating and making these problem solving sessions and successful one. And with this, I would like to end to the today's problem solving session. And like this particular week 5, next week also we will be having our problem solving sessions in same timing on Tuesday 7 to 9 p.m. like today. Every week try to participate in these problem solving sessions and revise the things that whatever we have discussed or we have gone through the lecture series, so it will be helpful for you final year exams also and solving the assignment questions. So I hope this problem solving sessions was helpful for you all. So with this, I would like to thank you all for participating in this problem solving session. And now I will be ending the today's problem solving session. Is it okay? Can I end to the problem solving sessions? Let me see. Okay. Okay.